So when I write and record, I'm always trying to employ some new trick or tactic that I picked up from other musicians or I've heard and thought, oh, I can really use that. On this new record, I know you had Lowell Campbell involved with it, a really talented drummer, but was there other tricks that it could be a mixing trick or a guitar picking trick or a singing thing? Was there tools that you're bringing to it? You really gave a really good scream in, what is it, this song with the synth?
Fan of Heart, yeah.
Yeah, that was...
Yeah, for sure. I think a big one for us was sort of protecting the source of the actual performance. It's amazing how a lot of fucking around in the studio can really inhibit the vibe. Even like the smallest break, if you really want to just get playing and somebody's fucking with the microphone for just a minute too long, you can break, I don't even know what it is. But it goes back to what I was saying as far as just keeping it totally open. And Lowell and I would even have a song and we just go jam.
Oh wow!
And a lot of those songs just came out.
That is a trick.
And because nobody was on the other side of the glass, and it was just him and I, we just went for it. So I was trying all sorts of new stuff, like you were saying, like those little things, and I didn't mind screaming because it was fun, and I was just trying to crack Lowell up and trying some tricks out that I wouldn't normally use if I was in a big crazy studio with a bunch of people watching, and we were just totally living for that exciting moment together to play, and that was sort of the trick, I guess.
Yeah, that's a great answer.
Yeah.
I didn't know you when you were really young. I met you we were both 17, I guess I would say, around that area. And you were, that's when you came up with the Guthries, which was primarily like a country-leaning group.
Yeah, well, I joined the Guthries. I begged them to let me be in the band. Yeah.
So did you start out as kind of a rock guy or a country guy or a folk guy or a metal guy or a rap guy? Like what was, like growing up, what was your first...
I started just as a solo sort of songwriter. Like I remember in junior high and high school, my uncle had an acoustic guitar that I was curious, and I was just attached to it right from the start, and it just felt so magical. And, at that age is so like your magic antennas are just like, thumping, and so I was just super enthralled with it. And then girls come into the mix, so then there's like all this thumping going on. And
were you a good singer back then, or did that develop?
No, I wasn't a good singer at all. I was really I kind of took some bit of flack for it, and it really made me angry, and it made me really work harder. Doing it a lot through it, developing, I think, right? I think it was good that I started early, and it was always acoustic solo performances, which I still really am thankful for getting comfortable with back in the open mic days when 200 university kids not listening to you, the song that you wrote that day, and finally actually
getting songs from that period that are still kicking around?
Yeah, I do, yeah. I have a song called Season to Leave that we still play sometimes.
Yeah, I love that one.
Yeah, that was like one of the first songs I ever wrote. Metal. Sorry, boys, that was a good take too. Fucker.
So let's go back even further. What was your earliest musical memory? I
remember hearing "Jump" by Van Halen. It was one of those station wagons with the seat that faced backwards in the back of the station wagons. Yeah, and I remember hearing "Jump" cranked on the system and going like I didn't even know what it was that I was hearing.
So how did it make you feel? Do you remember?
It made me feel really awesome. Like I wanted to dance, and I remember around the same week I heard Tears for Fears, and I think that's when I started acknowledging songs. And
it's because the songs have this power.
Yeah.
I'm always wondering what that power is that songs have. It's something in the collective humanness that we have, and we're still tapping into it. Like to this day, you're still tapping into it, right?
Exactly. And I don't know if I'll ever know what it is, but I think it's like two mirrors facing each other, and it's the people that reflect on the sound, and the sound that reflect on the people, and the music itself, the sounds themselves, with the rhythm, which is something that's so ingrained so deeply, the lyrics, who's singing it, the melody, and then the effect on the listener. What happened that day or in their life then that matched up that time with that melody and that singer. And then all these zillion different little matchups between all those things I was just saying that could be a perfect combination for somebody at the right time. And I don't know, it's just something's created that we all love.
Singing and writing for a living is a type of intimacy most non-entertainers can't really fathom. Intimacy you have with an audience, which is extremely intimate because you've written this material. How is it different than the intimacy that you have with, say, a family member or a romantic partner? Or do you even feel a difference?
It's weird because it is similar in some ways, but one thing that's kind of beautiful about an audience is that they act together as one. It's like one human.
Right.
So what's neat about it is that, let's say there's a crowd of 1,000 people. It's like they're all bringing something individually into this circle that turns into this one personality.
Totally.
And I found every town you go in, you're dealing with. I try to react with the audience like they're one person, and like they're, you know, how you meet somebody and they're kind of maybe different than you, but you can kind of read on how to, you know, their sense of humor maybe, or you know how to sort of come at them. I think audiences are the same. So when you do really click with an audience, it really does feel like, you know, like clicking with somebody who you're in love with or a family member. It's a comfort level. No, it seems to be a very natural thing, and it runs very, very deep, like a relationship you've had for a long time, because everybody wants to be there, and you want to be there. And
But you can't have the same vulnerability with this person that you just met, even if it's 1,000 becoming one, even as one person. But at the same time, you're presenting something that you've written and put so much sweat and blood and tears into.
Right.
So I'm always curious, but you can't be as vulnerable with them. You can't be like, oh shucks, like shuffling around up there, or like being insecure really, which is what we all are at the time.
Sure.
So that to me is a big difference. Do you find that your confidence in a stage situation carries over into your personal life? Like, have you used tools?
No, I wish I could, because like I feel like I'm sort of I'm myself on a stage, but I feel like I'm in the shell of a different sort of. I'm in a different vehicle. Like I feel like the need, because I love. My songs are like sort of like my children. I'm so attached to them and I'm proud of them. That gives me the confidence to make them be heard properly, and that's to have conviction and to look people in the eye. But in the real life situations, I can't do that.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and I don't know why. A lot of those songs I sing that I feel like I didn't write them, I feel like they were sort of delivered. So I feel like I really enjoy delivering them the best I can, and that means, again, having conviction. Part of the excitement of performing as well is, you know, it might have really helped somebody through something, but say it didn't come off the stage right, and then they didn't go home feeling better. You know, it's a very powerful thing. All right, we're good. Let's give her a go.
So back to the synesthesia, because I remember I was on a tour bus with you once, and you said you saw notes as colors, and like a G note was, I don't know, red or blue or something like that, but you just had a hint of it. Like some people are full synesthesia.
No, I have it pretty full on. Yeah. Like if I was to write out the alphabet with a box of crayons and every letter is a different color, and I gave you to hold on to, and then I waited a week and then you made me do it again, and then you match them. Every letter would be the same, or number, or anything.
So when you're on stage and you're playing a song, you're looking at the crowd, but you're seeing colors?
Yeah, like music, like chords, like the key of the song is a color, you know.
I feel like your recordings are really, really rich harmonically. Your guitar tone's great, and your singing, you have a really good timbre to your voice. Like, is that something you think you're going to influence your audience with? Do you associate feelings with good tonality?
I think so. I think it's like your grandmother giving you a warm sweater on a cold day. I think that's sort of what I'm trying to do. When I hear something that's sharp and brash, I'd like to sand the edges off it and make it warm and with louder music that I make, like a lot of guitars and
cymbals,
screamy vocals, a lot of cymbals. There's a way to make it loud and work in that sort of vein, but to still be sort of velvety, I guess, still, and not just be totally brash.
I gotta get it wrong before I get it right.
I know you're proficient at piano and guitar, singing, mixing, engineering. Like, is there any new, like, do you want to ever sing like Pavarotti, or is there, do you see something like, I wish I could?
Yeah, I really, range is something I'm really interested in my voice. Yeah, it's like, I got into this it was called Zen of Screaming. I was losing my voice a lot. It was just partying too much, really. But I learned how to actually breathe and sing properly, and it's all habit forming. It's all bad habits you have to break.
Zen of Screaming?
It's called the Zen of Screaming. It's this woman in New York who teaches all the hardcore screamer dudes how to scream and not lose their voice. So if you can learn how to do that, then you can learn how to sing normally as well and not lose your voice. And it's all very basic. A lot of warming up, and in doing that, it really sort of sparked my curiosity on how far my voice could go with proper breathing and training. And it's fun to sing in different styles and not just the same old dude all the time, And
so you try to sing higher, or what do you
lower, higher, whatever. Like in the studio, I've been doing some really challenging vocal parts, almost operatic, and do like vibrato is really like a controlled vibrato. That's like a real. It's like sort of like we're talking about meditation. It's like once you find the vibrato and start thinking about it, it goes away. It's sort of like you can't think about it. It's because I had such a shaky voice when I was younger. I feel like I want to keep the journey alive and see if I can keep singing better. And it's just interesting and fun,
So, do you think you're going to continue to live where you live now, like in Toronto, or do you think you're going to, like, what does the future hold? Do you feel like you could hopscotch around? Do you think you can use different studios?
Having a sense of place for me has always sort of been a strange thing, because I grew up in the suburbs and I always liked it, but I also sort of had a real hunger for exploration when I was in my 20s. And
excuse me, can you tell me which way to go? I'm not sure.
Yeah. Hang a Louie there, bud.
Right arm.
Operator. Let me contact Darren. Darren, you down there?
Switchboard?
Darren, it's the world's largest electronic calculator. Okay, we're gonna roll it. You boys?
That makes my heart sing, man. Never turn this car around.
Yeah, I really love traveling. I love being a nomad for a while.
I just feel like the recording game is changing too. There's so many.
Yeah.
You can be a little more independent.
Exactly. I don't know, whatever the future holds. It's like what's important now is not what used to be important 10 years ago. It's much different now. And I'm really glad. It's exciting that these sort of values change and your vision changes and what you really want, or what ultimately where your contentment lies, right? And I'd like to buy some land just to know I own it. I don't even care if I put on it once and just know I own it. I feel like I'm really craving that now. Like, I love Nova Scotia like nobody's business, but I'm definitely, as I age as well, definitely falling more in love with it.
Back in the arms of the drunken angels, dancing on. Baby,